the usual banter. This is done on a phone. You might hear clawing and scratching noises to make certain maneuvers happen. Otherwise, it's held at a wide stance to prevent that. However, it comes at the cost of precision, like walking into trees, buildings, and pits of death. And with that being said, as the jump button failed to do its thing, it is a Tuesday. This is an abbreviated lunch because there's a snowstorm, and I want to get home before it gets too bad. I was planning on the building opening at a certain time. The guy opening it came about 10 minutes later than anticipated, although I was actually anticipating somebody else to open it because they usually come early when there's a storm, but not this time. I don't think they came in at all, actually. But to make up for the lost time, I'm only taking a 15-minute lunch, so this is a quick little head start that we're doing. And it is definitely not cooperating, and that was a jump we didn't need to do. That is a jump we definitely need to do. All right, we're clear here. All right, nothing has lined up. So, I think this might be the only head start that we're getting, and it's only going to be not even 15 minutes. But again, that's time that we get to move a little further. Also, you might notice it sounds a little echoey. It's because we're not in our usual quote-unquote studio. I'm in a janitor's closet that's closest to the time clock, so literally try not to waste any time. And of course, I want to be right back in 15 minutes on the dot, because if I'm later, I lose time, I lose money, and I can stick around a little later to make it up, but I'd rather just get out of here while it's somewhat navigable outside. Currently, the roads are starting to go bad, and they're probably going to be fairly slippery when I start my way home. So that, I think, is going to be it. Is going to be it. I only took one break, and it started snowing just as I was about halfway through it. So if it was a little earlier, we would have had another 15-minute segment. I took a leap of faith there and there, none which killed me. The only thing that would suck is if we're in the middle of the ocean. Although I think they fixed that, is it me, or does it sound louder than it usually does? Could be because I'm in an echo chamber. I gotta look at the video. I mean, if it is a little loud for you guys, I don't know, as I keep it at a low volume, which means I can't really hear much of anything, because the microphone and the speaker are pretty much right there. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I now know why. Before private information just decided to show right up. As I was saying, what appeared to have been a silent creeper death might be because, my guess at this point, the microphone, well, I know it's on the right-hand side, is that we can jump. Of course we don't make it. Yeah, I'll look at this video later on and see where exactly the volume should be. Again, it could be jumping. It could be that place that the volume has risen again, because there was a time that I would have it just barely on and it would be just right for you guys. And then it was barely audible at all, which I think it still might be. And I know it's not the phone because everything else sounds exactly the same and all the settings are maxed, both the phone itself and in-game. So I have a feeling they tweaked the volume on the all right, retro a little bit more. That may be a pit of death. That's too close to call, and I don't like that. The important thing is that we missed it. And did my first time check. These things always line up wrong. I don't know what I'm looking at here. That may be a pit that hurts. And we're pressing boat button. Alright, so we're trying to avoid the icebergs. Because ever since they made it the same as... I'm not going to be able to avoid it. They made it the same as Java, where there's no longer a completely frozen ocean where these things are. This biome kind of crap. I don't like it. It's a pain. Might have to give up a bed and a boat. Actually, just so that if we were to die, we don't soft lock ourselves. We've gone this far. I don't need to be doing that. Ooh, we stayed on the ice. And the sun's setting perfectly, exactly what we don't want. Even when it was completely frozen over, wasn't the best idea to settle in. Oh, yeah, the boat place. Alright, we could have some land. That would be nice. I don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah. Alright. So we're going to get off here. Bed here. Oh, get the right buttons at my... Yeah. Place. Yeah, we're gonna have to make a chest, a boat, a chest boat, another chest, place, chest boat. Get enough food, we'll just put those in there. Yeah, I don't like it, but if we were to die, we won't be stranded. Yeah, grab this thing back. Alright, so, yeah, and let's hit the right buttons this time. Alright, this goes there. A bed goes here. Alright, so... No, bed goes here. Moored the boat, and... No, I don't want to go this way. Board. And also board. Alrighty, I don't know if... Okay, we could cooperate, that'd be new. Break. Alright. Solid enough block. This is all we're going to do for this particular bit, so see you whenever next time is, because my short lunch is about over. And we're back. It's Saturday, and I'm working. It has been a while, and for those that don't know, I do like working the Saturdays because money. Plus, I don't mind anyway. The only thing that sucks about it is when you haven't done it for a while, you're used to having a schedule where you weren't doing it for a while. And it sucks when it stops because it's something I like doing and then throws off your schedule for a while. So I don't know how long it's going to be because it is December. It's kind of the push month. So it's probably going to be, unfortunately, short-lived. But I'll take it as I can. So it's Saturday and it's not washer dry phase yet, and we're going into the water. Of course. Because this biome is total utter garbage now. If I left what was good alone and just actually take something from Bedrock and put it in Java instead, then we would have a much better system. Yeah, that wasn't going to work. So we're getting a little extra distance in because weather's kind of not the best. Spotty snow showers. So we're getting a little extra distance in. Maybe next episode. Actually, that might be a bit of a stretch. I was thinking maybe next episode. But I've been proven wrong where I say next episode, now it's not going to happen, and it does anyway. Maybe hit the next 100,000, which is a bit of a stretch, and those two had to go in the wrong direction, didn't it? Anyway. Oh, yeah, we can go here. Now, if I can just land my jumps correctly. All right, that time I stopped because I wasn't sure of that. Now, frozen over lakes and rivers are good. This one's not totally frozen over, but it's okay. We can move the player. But we can... Okay, now when I press magic jump button, we should try jumping. Ready? Jump! Good. No. There we go. Food. Why a disconnect? Well, at least the water itself wasn't a disconnect. So I don't know how much of this break I'm going to have to give up on. Let's see, how much stone do we have? Only 5 pieces. And I cannot move. Now I can. The further up we go, the worse this gets, but that's all right. We can get more material that we need anyway. Break. Nope. All right, yeah. We might as well just try to get our fill here. And we got it. Pressing. All right, now we gotta leather boot it. No, we want sword. Sword! I literally pressed sword. Little Dave Grohl there, which is funny. You think snow would protect you. Not so much. Okay, jumping. That time it did. So if you land in the powdery stuff just right, it will protect you. Okay. That is indeed good to know, because I literally have not hit a situation where that was necessary yet. All right, we're jumping. We're almost out of the woods. Okay, that was an unnecessary jump. We didn't need to do that. All right, a little more. That's enough. Okay, we can also do that. Pressing. So this is the first break. Second break, I'm not sure. Lunch, I'm also not sure. It's supposed to be kind of a crappy day. Brake. What am I looking at? I see water. I see a big drop, but I also see we need to take a couple drops down. Okay, brake. All right, small Dave Grohl there versus what could have happened. Yeah. Yeah, we can make some torches. Instead of throwing away the stick, we could do that. And of course, we're going to throw mountains in the way because, you know, why make the goal? Might be next 2 episodes where we hit the 82-3. Okay, there's no actual way. Okay, that was actually pretty good. Brake, brake. Yeah, let's just use this tree to help circumvent our... Oh, this tree wasn't quite where I thought it was. Still works. Nice jump. Glad the button did its job again. Which, actually, doing nothing is its job. Yeah, that's not going to reach, so... Yeah, one more. There we go. We're jumping. That went pretty well. All right, we're not in a bad spot. I'm gonna keep an eye on the clock. How much? 38. Of course, don't give it to me. Jump. Jumping. while we're at it, I could spend a lot of time doing this. Just a little bit here and there. Especially now. Brake. Perhaps braking is what I want. Especially since I'm running out of time here. That it gives us a little bit of an extra space. And I'll just point the boat this way, just so I remember when we come back, this is the direction we want to go in ultimately. And break's over, so see you next time. Whether it's the next break or washer dryer phase, according to the weather, it's supposed to be getting worse. According to radar, it doesn't seem to be. See you whenever it is. We're back. Ooh, we're getting dark already, so might actually just want to spend some time here and just be, set up here and just get ready for nightfall, because that is coming. And if I collect these, good. If I don't, oh well. Hoping some of the orbs would have came and we would have got them. And we can move the player. Brake. It's actually not. All right, one more position. There we go. Right underneath. Jumping. Oh, the sun's over there. I thought it was almost time to sleep the night away. Not true. All right, it sounds like we picked up junk, and we did. Thank you. How about we do what I asked for now? And that's over here. This is where we are. Nice jump. Glad the jump button, per usual, did not work. One more. Or we can just give me the block. Place. All right, it's not letting us move. Surprise, surprise. Why would we do that? All right, what just happened? Somehow we hit the bed, which we want. Okay, that shouldn't be there, and that should be there. Now I would like some cooperation with this game. This game should be moving when I press the move the player button. And when I press jump, the player... A strange idea, but I think the jump button should make the player jump. And like I've said, Windows 10, yep, I see it there too. Ooh, yeah, I should have just dug some of the way down. Oh, we made the water. That was going to be a close call, and we missed the board button. We came close there, but we didn't hit it. Also, the view is a little on the looking down side. There. Yeah, so ever so slightly weathered out of my second break, and I believe lunch will also be the same. There just has to be this one little line of disturbance, and it has to be right over where I work. On the plus side, we get more of this. And we can place. Oh, that went nowhere. Jumping. Perhaps when I press jump, we should be jumping. I tell you, the game really does not like to do its job. Alright, I thought that was low enough when we can move the player. Place, place, place. The controls are DED dead. And of course, as I said, Windows 10, same thing. Alright, we might make it into the 8240 kilometer block in this particular break. So when it comes to traversable blocks, we have made it 98% of the way through them all. When we get to 8,304,500 or so, that's ticking up to 99% of the way through all the traversable blocks. And how about the sword? Love how it just decides not to. Not a thing. Nice jump. Glad the jump button, per usual, never worked. Anyway, that's what I was trying to do. Alright, that's just too much there, but yeah, that I expect. And move the player. Move the player. Eat the food. Wait. And we're almost there. And we're at the 8240 kilometer block on the nose. And move the player. Of course, if I can see a drop coming that's not very big, I jump so we can keep moving. See how when we didn't jump, the guy just stops during the descent? When it's steep, let such a thing happen, because we don't want to lose control and bang into anything. And we are in a position we can't move. Now we are in a position where we can move. And we didn't switch over. We had a pretty good run there. Yeah, that wasn't too bad of a run. And we're going way off axis, but we wanted to avoid the roof forest. All right, let's just move over this way because it's a little easier. How about a position where we can move? Jumping. Dave Grohl it there. Sometimes we press our luck there a little too much. All right, time to call it another break. So, see you later. And we're back. Go figures. It's snowing, and there's literally just one itty bitty blob of it, and guess where it is? Again, on the plus side of things, that means we're getting a little further here. So, I mean, it's not a total loss. I mean, we're getting at least something out of this. And this is my lunch. And this, we got to really keep an eye on the clock, although we did pretty good in this particular past due bit so far. Is this one we got to really pay attention, because every minute I lose is money I lose. And I could use money. Money good. And oceans are definitely a help. Nothing. Nothing. Anyway, that was not intentional. Well, what we need to do now is, how many diamonds do we have? We have 5. That's good. We're going to need to sacrifice a little bit of wood there. Make one of them. Put it over here. This is going to wind up in the wrong spot. We can fix that. And of course the wrong biome has to show up. So once again, going way off axis to avoid things that we really don't need right now. I mean, this not so dense jungle that we see on the left, that's fine, but need less of the dense stuff. Need traversable terrain. And we don't have a choice. But again, it's not terribly dense, so that's okay. Okay, hit the jump button. That may help us a little bit. And get a dark section, which we don't like. Oh, What might have been, but wasn't, thankfully. Oh, we got problems. Well, we did board the boat. That's the important part. That's why it's super important. Place, and then get in the boat. Both your skill and the game actually cooperating. Oh, good. Instead of jungle, how about roof forest? Any more that I don't want to really see right now? As we're zeroing out the Z-axis again, we got room to wiggle around a little bit. Alright, finally some ocean, which, yeah, as boring as it is, it's making the big number bigger a lot faster. What I think it might do, because I think it actually keeps my energy up a little bit, is might do the laundry first, then get ready for tomorrow's adventures in editing, which is the watch me suck at bowling and then this video. Now we're going in the other direction. Not terribly far off, though. But does this let us keep going? It does. But we're going to have to land in a moment. It was just a simple one block drop, which wasn't too bad. Alright, what I'll do is I'll just sleep here. And for the sake of just getting there a little faster, alright, I would like to be able to move. Over here. A little more this way. Good. I'm going to jump and hope for, well, somewhat decent landing. Brake. Not the best of moves there. Oh. All right. Of course, I'm making these little moves like that. It's simply to make the big number get bigger. That is not going to help us, that lake. But that river definitely will, if we can avoid the holes. Well, and then it made itself clear what it's becoming. And we can't get out of this. There's a river flowing through it, and of course it stops. And these biomes I don't like either because there's hidden ice, which will stop us cold, like that. Okay, I'd like to be moving. Is there a place to move? These are almost as bad as the traversing the way that the okay, how about a way we can move? I don't like what I see there. It looks like a pit of death. That also is a pit of death. no longer an issue. Yeah, so you got to keep an eye on the clock. I stopped there because I saw something that looked like a pit of death coming. All right, boat it. Good. Speed through it. And we can move the player. Of course it goes through the world. How else would it have gone? Okay, move the player. And we're permanently here. Not gonna move. That is certainly a pit of... No, it ain't a pit of death. Sure started looking like one. That was a late jump. Again, being sure I'm not... Okay, a little more this way. Not sure about that, but I'd rather be safer than sorry. And we have not had a village in a while. Oh, we actually had a somewhat decent run going there. Not too bad. Now we go through this crap. Nope. Place. Alright, so once again we're at a point that... Well, if it turns into ocean, hey, now's a dual cool feature. There we go. And yeah, now I see it. What good's that gonna do us? Alright, so we're looking for land. There's land. Something we could definitely stop on. Alrighty. we are running low on beds, which is why this and this is important. This will be the last sleep. And then we'll spend a half a Minecraft day heading on out. Yeah, board it. Perhaps that's why I'm hitting the board to boat button. Alright. And waggle the boat. And we have a mountain to try and avoid. Okay, there we go. Okay, it looks like it's just a move the player, single block gap thing that we were trying to avoid there. That is not a single block gap. Now we can move. Yep, keep moving. Big push. The more the better. Again, which is why we know that there's a brick wall here, but we go just to make that number bigger. Oh, it didn't go and make me a river that still keeps going. Well, all right. Yeah, the mining fatigue effect wore off. Good. Okay, we did not avoid a pit of death, which sounds like a bad thing when I say it like that, but not really. Let's just, you know what, let's just go where it's a little more open. Place. How about we let me control the game? Even better. Good enough. We are set for washer dryer phase. See you then. And we're back. And sword. Sword. I literally pressed the sword button 3 times and it didn't do it. How about where I am? Here. Okay, let's see if this game will do anything that I need it to. How about move? How about move? How about move? Okay, how about jump? I mean, the game literally doesn't do anything. It's not listening to a single command so far. Oh, well, it broke leaves when I wanted to. That's something. Place. Now let's see if run and jump can happen. That's a pit of death for sure. No, it couldn't do that right either. Why am I not shocked? Nope, it has not done one thing correctly since I started right now. Well, it did that jump right. I have no idea how, but it did. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to break. We could use more of these, so do that. Go to one position. There we go. Grab an extra block, because we could use it. As we I don't know why I just don't keep my thumb down. Of course it's not going to do anything correct. Now this time I'm going to press the jump button and we're going to jump. How about jumping? It's just doing whatever it wants. It's not doing anything that's being asked. It's literally just make things up as it goes. Will I jump? Will I not? Jump. I mean, there are no reasons for this to not be working. There because here. Move the player. New thing to try. Jumping. Again, it's not going to do the job because that would mean it would do the right thing. I'd like jumping. I didn't say swords. Let's just grab a couple here. Break. Perhaps braking when I hit the brake button means braking. We could try that. I'm waiting for this game to actually do something correctly. 43, not enough. over here. Yep, we're pressing a button. The game just constantly fights. It just does not want to do anything. There we go. Oh wait, we want to put a bed in. Why is there an apple? Put it over there. Move the player. Why are we grabbing the crafting table? I grabbed for the dirt blocks. That time I grabbed the crafting table. And I'm only getting 2 apiece here. Hey, we got the one we wanted. And that'll give us 63, which is as many as we can grab right now. Oh, it's the mesa. Right now it's actually the one that seems to be more traversable, which is weird. It's not how it usually goes. Yeah, that's traversable actually. Not ideal, but it's there. Oh, did we just jump over a giant chasm? I mean, that descent wasn't too bad. Who would have thought I would be looking forward to a mesa biome for better control and more usable terrain? Who would have thought that? You know, it'd be nice is having villages at this point, which is again why we kill sheep till we get ideally 63 wool. Is that a village up there? Or is that just... No, that's just rock. Tiny screen, old eyes, hard to tell. There are no good areas here. If we do that and go up, and of course, as I say, when it comes to deserts, if this is more than just this little strip, I try to navigate these because they're usually easy to navigate around, but also most likely biome to have structures like villages, desert temples, which are a really nice thing to have. This is one case where, like I said, because it's generally traversable, I will skip the easy trip in water. Again, I'm going to use the stretchy stretch here, and it looks like it's mesa as well. A little more this way. Okay, over here. Over here. Dave Grohl. Nope, not swinging swords. We were jumping. Okay, food time. Definitely could use a village. Definitely could use desert temples just to replenish some of our... potentially get some of our stock back. Nice jump. I mean, I literally hit the button square on and it didn't do anything. Just like Windows 10. Oh, there's a village. Let's move the player. In between, that's good enough. Well, with the extra distance that we got in today, and there's a smithy. I would like to get to 8275. Because then that means a very strong likelihood, not a guarantee. I'm going to do this. I want to... Yep, move the player. Yep, there's a bed. No, I want to move. Alright. Somehow... Alright, I'm gonna exit. How about over? Yeah, I don't know why I wasn't able to go through the first time. Right, so the rare smithy that's in these, and paid off a little bit. Some more apples. I think our armor is doing okay. We can move this way a little bit. Jumping. Again, it likes to ignore the jump button because Bedrock. How about we break bed? No, I want bed. I don't want to hurt villager. I want bed. Ooh, two of them. And you're in the position I don't need you to be in. That helps a little bit. And we got the wrong one here. I want to see the small stack. Yeah, we can keep going, and we are not in the correct position. We are not in the correct position. Nope. Useless. Okay, need to be moving. Yeah, this is good enough. I will accept this as our spot, especially since we have high enough ceilings we don't have to break it to get out. And we're almost at the 8250 kilometer block. We're almost full. We almost get all the beds we need. And now we can move the player. Break. And if we had any farmers, that would help. If there were any farmers, we could make a killing here. That's not a farmer, though. And we're full. Let's just change that and just to make it a little different. And all right, let's move. Let's just boat. I didn't see anything nearby in terms of other things useful. We got this little slip here we can get in, which may be a river. Which is going in the exact wrong direction. Jumping. Again, this might look kind of funny, just walking up to a cliff and then moving over. It's all to make the big number bigger. Yeah, I don't know why that was a jump that I tried making. Jumping. And no more. Okay, I don't see what I thought I saw there, so. Oh, mangroves. Well. Nice jump. Glad the jump button, per usual, does nothing. And back on the other side of 256. I guess. Another village, but, you know, what's the point? Unless we can find a farmer. We could use a farmer. Move the player. Move the player. Again, not useful. Gotta be careful around the iron golems. Again, not useful. We got all the beds we need. Again, not useful. Well, that was a bad move. I took a chance. Now we gotta play the mangrove game. These look relatively flat, so maybe we are able to get our way through. Not necessarily indicative of ease of travel. I've been through some very hilly ones that somehow I managed to get through without issue. Unfortunately, it does not have the half-light rule that the jungle and the roof forest biomes have. Yep. Keep going. And place. Yeah, over here actually. I mean, that really wasn't too bad considering the territory we had to get through. And jump. Too far. Getting rid of that junk a little later. Okay, we could move the player a little bit. We can move the player a little bit. Get stuck in the water. Nope. Up. That's better. Nope, we're swinging swords for reasons unknown. There we go. I see. No, I don't want ducking. I want moving. I think we can boat our way out. I think the answer is you can boat the way out. And before we keep going, pressing the... Oh, we didn't grab any of that stuff. Okay, pressing the X. Although I kind of was a little off there, so 3 or 4 times I had to hit it. It's because I actually was not on target. Alright, 8250 kilometer block. Like I said, if we can get to 8275, we are good for possibly next episode. And I always say possibly because, you know, terrain and occasional deaths just ruin things. But assuming normal, things, you know, going normal, we should hit 8.3 million, which will be very close to 99% of all the possible traversable blocks. Then we gotta get a little creative as to how to keep moving, which I have ideas. And we're jumping. We can't move. Let's see if we can grab any of these. Some of them. How about this way? Alright, yeah, I stopped short because I wasn't sure if we were heading towards a pit of death. We can undo that. We can move the player. Oh no, not what I wanted to see. Place a bed here, grab a nice blue one there. How many ingots? Okay, one short of being able to put the boat down. Why not? Looks like we've got a throughway. Even if it, as I was about to say, even if it were to come to a dead end. Go. Waggle that boat. Because you have to break a minimum speed in order to move forward. Although in north-south direction, the Z-axis, not an issue. Because we are a little closer to 0 than we are X and Y. I mean, in the X direction. Y is height, so in normal means height don't matter. Not what we want. So yeah, in order to, we have to waggle the boat in order to move. Because if we're under 5 blocks a second, we can't make any movement in the X direction. Here, good. I know I'm going to jinx it by saying it, but it seems like now the game is sort of cooperating. I shouldn't have jumped, and we would have had a run that was still going. Alright, there was no death there, which is good. Oh no, not what I wanted to see. Okay, can jump. Jump, jump, jump. Oh. Nope, nope. Over here. Nope, I don't like what I'm seeing. Backwards. And rain, I say this every time, but rain, snow, I don't like how it works anymore in this, in Bedrock. It doesn't work right. Because you never know when a thunderstorm actually will occur. Not what I want. Unduck. Used to be dark skies and black clouds. That's how you would know a thunderstorm was a thing. Now it could happen at any rain intensity, any brightness. It's crap. So there's trees. I'm constantly looking around. So I just don't trust the game. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It just doesn't make the weather correctly. All right, we're not in. Move. Why are we micro jumping? That's not moving the player. Lord. Of course we hit the little snow bit. Go. Well, that was odd. Over here. Over here, jumping. Oh, that's not going to work. Okay, how about in a direction we're pointing in? This way, right here, over here, somewhere over here. Somewhere that we can actually manage to get back up. Not where the cliff is, where we can make our way up. Again, not the most efficient way, but it gives us some more blocks that we can move the player, that we can jump with. Are we good? Yes, we are. Are we good here? I don't know. I don't trust the game. As far as we've been going. And I don't know what I'm looking at. All right, the rivers and lakes help. I don't know. I don't know if this was a smart move. And we're jumping. Move the player. The important thing is we are on land where there are trees, and that sounds like the wash is done. But it also looks like we might be hard to tell. Well, what I'm gonna do... No, we're not playing swords. Gonna put ourselves in a boat, pause the game, and get ready for drier phases. Or better yet, we'll just get out of the boat and we'll sleep it off. See you at drier phase. That's your cue to sleep. There we go. See you then. And we're back. And unfortunately, we can move the player. We can move the player. New thing we can try. Move the player. And we're going this way because we're trying to hit the ice here. We're moving the player. How about we're pointing? Even better answer. Yeah, it was better to smack that. Yeah, over here. Move the boat. Move the boat some more. There you go. Now if we die over where we slept, there is a tree where we can make another boat, another chest boat, and try to get out of here. In other words, we shouldn't be soft locked. Like I think we just did here. Well, I don't think we're soft locked. I think we just entrapped ourselves. Yeah, we just did. Oh yeah, we can't move. Place. But we can do that. And we can move the boat. this is better. At least we can maneuver. Although I wish it was all frozen so we could maneuver way faster. But this is okay as well. Ice water, then not so much. Ocean now? Looks like we're ocean now. Yeah, so again, I mean, yeah, usually I'm not talking when I do this because I'm one of those that just can't talk and play the game at the same time usually. But again, because once again, I don't know if it's gonna last, but work the weekend again, and I lied about maybe going home and doing this first and then taking care of my YouTube watching later. I did the YouTube and stuff first, and then the last thing is doing this before calling it a night. It just makes sense that do that stuff while I'm awake, and this actually kind of helps me stay awake enough to get the job done and then hit the hay and everything's good. Alright, we're at 0. I mean, as I say, these oceans, they may not be exciting, but they keep the number ticking. The only time it's going to truly not be a good thing is when we hit the 8,388,608. We need usable land that we can farm and make food. I'm sure we're going to have to make trips back and forth until we get to far enough that we won't need to. Also going to experiment with using the nether again, but this time to make I don't know how it's going to work, make a tunnel. But a one-way tunnel, being that I would use it to get back from. I'm just thinking of where I'm going here. One-way tunnel from getting to the farm from wherever distance I have traveled. Basically, not to go further, but just to simply head back to the initial base until it can get to a point, and I gotta work on it is see if I can set some spawn points past that point. Set up some linear farms. And that was not what we wanted. Oh, goody, jungle. Exactly what we didn't want. Oh, we already have issues. In a dense area like this, I hit the bed as often as possible so that the least likelihood of anything spawning will occur. Now we're gonna, hopefully that won't be backwards enough. What I'm trying to do right now is reset those spawn chunks, not spawn chunks, the simulation distance chunks. See, now that zombie is no longer a thing. See, I don't like this. And we need to move the player. Move the player. Move the player. Okay, too much yaw, so you wouldn't move. Good. Oh, good. Wide open. Backwards. Yeah, I would rather be in the birch. Break. Jumping. Okay, hit the button. That might help. Jumping. Oh, we got a ruin here. Not helping. Jumping. Ton of iron, that helps. Place. supposedly it's... Yeah, you can't even... Those switch puzzles don't even work. Wow, that was totally useless. Okay, that was just a pit. Jumping. Oh, for a minute I thought I saw a village path. River is good. Deserts for the warmth would be nice. Again, villages and more so the desert temples, which generally are the ones that have the good stuff in it. Asking for some reason to actually get. Oh, well. Then it turns into Mesa, which, no, we don't want. And we'll just turn around to see if any desert temples appear. No, but we got a village. Jumping. And we have a farmer. Perfect. And okay, we need this. Well, yep. This can disappear. 3 beds. 1, 2. Thank you, farmer. We definitely needed you. And a 3rd bed. Nice jump. Glad the jump button didn't do anything again. Over here. Move the player. That's not going to matter. We'll use this one because we can. There we go. Free bed. We have full food. And that one went through the world. Yes, it did. Because that's all we needed was that one. There. Let's make it a white one this time. Then I'll make it that man. Here, yep. Just no desert temples that I can see at least. Missed the jump. Missed it there too. Well, that went pretty far there. Let's just see if there's a desert temple in view. No. Nice jump. Okay, how about... Oh, that looks like a pit of death. No, it wasn't, but it would be very annoying. Jumping, jumping, jumping. Nope, ducking, moving, jumping. How many more commands can you ignore? And we're trying to move. We weren't swinging swords, we were trying to jump. Going. But that time we shouldn't have kept going, so good. Yep. Up. That worked. Nope. Over here. Nice jump. Glad the jump button worked. Jeez. Come on, over here. Jump. Nice jump again. No, where? Alright, it doesn't jump. Then it doesn't grab the joystick when I have my finger on it. Then maybe they should figure out how to make the controls responsive. Especially the jump button, which I notice here and on Windows 10 is not very responsive. Alright, we're getting close to the 8260 kilometer block. Less than 500 blocks to go. Or 2.5 render distances, because I have it set at 14. I mean, the phone can handle 16, but then yeah, I've had some issues when they're updating the game. Although Caves and Cliffs were first being, they were force feeding some of the updates. I had it down to 10 and it still was barely playable. And 14 was the, when I had my LG L3 phone, which was relatively new when I bought it. It wasn't the latest and greatest, but it was fairly close. 14 chunks was the farthest render distance that was available at the time, so kind of a legacy thing. The original far distance. Which is why on the 50th Birthday World, which I've mentioned, you haven't seen videos in years because everything I'm doing on that world is a mega project. And watch me suck at Minecraft, which I should really be getting back into. Now that most of the house projects are more or less done, or what I can do at the moment. I'd like to say that I can just spend my time on fun things because everything will be done. Not quite there. And crossing that 256 mark. And I have a feeling we're going to be going way past that when we hit, over the 8.3 million, where the last traversable block is. Because we're going to need good land, kind of like this, even if it isn't really populated or anything like that. Because with the 4-chunk simulation distance, which I intentionally left because as I move, it only saves the 4 chunks surrounding us as we go, which of course means the world sizes don't get as big, the game doesn't struggle as much. That was a pretty big, long, flat section. And white bed, no sleep. Pressing. And we did make it to the 80-60 kilometer block. 8260 kilometer block. That was a useless jump. Going in the wrong direction, so okay, this is safe. Although that wasn't very safe for that reason. Nice jump. I like when I press the jump button and absolutely nothing happens. That's funny, I remembered pressing the jump button, not swing the sword button. This could help or hurt us. We'll find out. Okay, we could have used a little more distance. There we go. That works. I was concerned about that gap, and then, ooh, I made it. Oh, how about pay attention to this next jump that's coming. Alright, this looks like just another small advancement, but... Ooh. Oh well. Yep. Turn. Jump. Again, the rain, I don't like it because it doesn't work the way it should. Alright, let's... Move the player. Over here. Annoying as heck, but we're getting somewhere. Or we were. Yeah, that don't look good. That don't look good. Yeah, that's a pit of death. Let's go away from that. Okay, I'd like to move. Jumping. Okay, that's actually not helping. Move the player. Move the player. This again. Yep, and that was our place. That killed our forward momentum. You turn. Okay, we're heading in the wrong direction, which, as usual, is how things work. Nope, don't want to do that. Incorrect answer. Place. Alright, we're moving away from zero on the Z. And like I said, we're probably going to have to go way far from that when we hit 8.3 million anyway. the player. We can't move the player because that would be the thing we would need to do. Great, it's getting dark. Okay, move. Move. Yep, it's getting dark. Place. And we're nowhere near land, so that's not where I placed it. Of course, that's what happens. Make chest. Boat. Chest boat. So in case we die because of where we are, and some food, and this can just go in there because it's junk. Oh, we got land there, but we still have to because we can't move. And suddenly we just turned like that. How about this? Okay, that's not in the correct spot, but that's fine. That means we got it back. Can we do this correctly? So place. Of course, it went exactly in the wrong position, like it always does. Nope, don't want that. 0% correct. Oh, we're going in the wrong direction. Surprise, surprise. I just want to move in the correct direction. And move in the correct direction. Move. No. Always doing the wrong thing. Anyway. Yep. Move the player. There we go. This way. Alright, we can get out of this. How about the boat? Move the player. I want to line up with this a little better. We could also keep moving player. Nothing. Pressing X. Yeah, that was going the wrong way and it was heading towards ice spikes, which we don't want. Which is very not useful. Let's see, do we? Yeah, we got room for another bed or two. Okay, nowhere near. And we can move the player. Because it's rare, let's make the red bed. Nothing. No, how about the stick? Again, it just ignores what I want. Very good at ignoring commands. Oh, village. Village. Although I don't know if it's going to be any use, but... a bed. Now we're down to 2. Move the player. Move the player. Take that. One more, right? No, we're full. Okay. Alright. So let's just, yeah, a little more variety there. And we don't need your assistance right now. Move the player. Break. Good. Move the player. Sun setting. Ooh, we made it over that. Move the player. And we need to eat anyway. How about we move the player? Place? How about placing? Place. Go. Although we're not going to go further that way. Jumping. Okay, missed the button again. Okay, a little more this way. There we go. Okay, that's just not going in the right direction. Move the player. See if this bypasses a... Okay, it wasn't a pit of death where we are, but still it bypasses something. I'd like to... Okay, jumping, not sword swing. And I missed the button again. Alright, I might have to go into leather boot mode, pressing the button. Nice jump. Should probably try jumping next time. It's so annoying that the same problem keeps repeating itself. Okay. Move the player. And of course this doesn't go, or... Oh, wait a minute, we got a little gap here. Alright, so there was a little way out. Actually, one more. Move the player. This biome stinks. And bad. Okay, that's not where I wanted. Yep. And, okay, how about away? How are we doing on those blocks? 63. Let's change that out. Break. Jumping. Of course it chose the worst possible landing spot. Well, important thing is we got trees and stuff, so that's a good thing. Means if we were to die out here after setting a spawn point, we can recoup. And blue bed for the ocean. That seems to work out. I think over there would be the best place to go. And for some reason that circle of selection stuck. Kind of worked out. Move. Yeah, here we are again. We're at the... You want to move? Nope. Not letting you. Move the player. Duck. Well, this could have been a pit of death. Fortunately, it wasn't anything but you don't know. 68% of the way through this 10,000 block. Jumping, jumping, jumping. Pressing the jump button might mean jumping the player. Call it stupid, but I like the idea of pressing jump and the player jumping. Nice jump. Once again, doesn't do the job. This is not the position I want to be in. Why are we not moving the player? Move the player. Brake. That hard. Jump button worked. jumping? Why are we not moving? Why are we not moving? Is there a way out without having to deal with the mountain? Move the player. I'd like a way that doesn't involve the mountain. Jumping. Move the player. Wow, I would like a way that doesn't involve this mountain. Place. Move. There's literally not a way without the mountain. And the worst part of the mountain. Move. Wow, I'd like to do this without having to deal with the mountain. That would be great. The player. Break. No. Incorrect answer. Not what we want. That means it's wrong. Move. Break. No. Wrong answer. 0% what was given. That's just to get some extra. You need to be able to get away from this mountain. I don't want to be here at the mountain. I'd like to get out of the mountain. Break. I'd like an answer that gets away from the mountain. There are 0 answers. That is not correct. We need to get out of this problem. We cannot have this. Turned around. 67%. That is 0% of the way there. Okay, we can move the player. Move the player. Nope, that is not the correct answer. 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 Yep, exit, exit. Don't want. Place, place. I think we can make a jumping. Safe landing into the water there. Alright, now that was helpful. Now we need to get out of the mountain. Away from the mountains. I don't want mountains. Mountains are not helpful. I want to see something besides mountains. Mountains are 0 helpful. Break. Oh, good. There, just what we want. Out of them. I wish I could talk, but that would be asking for too much. Out of the mountains. Jumping. Pressing the jump button. Might mean jumping. Getting very old very fast. Let's move the player. New thing we can try. Wow, is that old and boring. Move the player. Yeah, while we're here, 42. Let's just get some more wood. That gets us pretty decent. Move the play. Nope, not there. Move the player. Move the player. There we go. here. Albeit tiny, the pit was actually the place you wanted to be. No, not there. Move over. Nope, over here. Have to explain everything. How about over here? Okay, need to move the player. Okay, how about away from the mountains? Boring mountains. Mountains are very boring. They do not provide scenery. Okay, over here. Of course, the jump button didn't do it what it's supposed to. Especially there. Oh, come on. All right, we've cleared the mountain. Oh, no. Come on. More biomes we don't want for 500, Alex. Move the player. Can we have a biome that is usable, that we can use, that can get us somewhere, that we can get to where we're going? This is not a biome that is helping. None of the biomes are working. I don't want these biomes. These are all garbage. None of them work. Okay, move the player. Does this go anywhere? Probably not. We're turning. We're turning. Of course it doesn't go anywhere. That would be wrong. Unable to use. It'd be nice if something went the right way. That would be a nice shot. Nice change of pace. This is not usable. I can't do anything here. Move the player. Move the player this way. New thing we can try is actually making something work. I see some usable land. I'd like to jump. Jump! 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 Move. We gotta go way off zero because we can't give us a biome that works. %. There's 0% of the way towards our target of a minimum 8270. The help that we got from our brakes being destroyed today, we need that. Move the player. Move the player. Do we have a river that we can finally make some progress? Well, that was stupid. How about we here? Alright, what do we have? Let's change this again. Move the player. How about we work? Do something new. Move the player. Now I'm getting very angry, as the game is dead and unresponsive. That time it was me. And that time it was me. Alright, we need to hit targets. No, over here. Want to be moving the player. The thing that you don't know how to do. Jumping. Because the game can't frickin' do that. Move the player. Hopefully this is a long ocean. Again, rain that we don't need. Although out here in the ocean we could just bob around in the boat if it's a problem. Don't really want to do that. Also, I would like to move to the left, but the land is not letting me move to the left. %, of the way towards our minimum goal. Nope, that way. And another 10% in this 10,000. Everything's got to go the wrong way. It just doesn't work. Looks like we can probably turn towards 0 and the Z again. Oh, we got a desert temple. Actually, we can leave that there. Move the player. Move the player. Why are we not moving the player? Move the player. Good enough. Move the play. Oh, hell, come on. Place. Yeah, we got a zombie there. Move the player. No, no, no. We avoided disaster. That's the important thing. Pressing. Nothing. 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 Let's see what we got here. Suddenly the zombies disappeared. Okay, that way's not going to work. We're going to move the player now. And we're okay. Yeah, we had to jump. That's a fair thing. Failed to jump. That was a fairly useless temple. Alright, at least this mesa has a river going through it for now. And of course we're going to hit 8270, 80, 90 in the ocean. You know how this goes. You hit your goal, screw you. Your progress is done. Move the player. Good. Yep. One of these ways should help. Alright, this. There we go. Nope, you know, it's gonna have to be. Move the player. Move the player. Try moving the player. The thing that makes me happy. Jump didn't exist there. Did there. Dave rolled it there. I'd like to be moving. Nice jump. Okay, I don't see anything there, so place that junk, which we're gonna grab again anyway. Junk. Sleep. Alright, now I want to see how much time's left on the clock here. Alright, so 2 more sleeps. Move the player. I don't see a temple there. Trying to get some distance in as well. Okay, we're not going to be able to cross that. 2 more sleeps. Of course, a big ocean, like I said, as boring as it is, gets us further and closer to at least the secondary goal. The 8,388,608. The last traversable block in this direction. So the minimum objective has been reached. The ideal goal is to get 50% of the way through this 10,000 blocks. Get to 8275. And we will be sitting pretty good on a very likely 8.3 million next episode. That's turning into mountains over there, so over here we go. Plus we're getting a little far away from the 0 point. Let's make the best of this. The ocean help. Okay, place, jump, place. Really? The player. Here. 15%. How about we break the next block? Wasting a little bit, but we also need to fuel our health bar there. Yeah, it's just turning into mountains that way now. Up here, there we go. Move the player. Move the player. Well, we got a mountain to climb, but it's one of these that usually it's somewhat doable. Not always, but it's getting somewhat dark, so then we go that away. Alright, next sleep is the end for this episode. Move the player. Ooh, steep. Okay, that's a little much. Between the wickets didn't go exactly smoothly as planned, but this way. That helps. Well, looks like we could hit our ideal numbers. The thing is, we can only see like 240 blocks out, so you never know. Of course, it has to do that crap. But over here seems to be a smoother approach. Of course, we could have just moved instead of micro-jumped, and we could have... Of course, we could have made progress. That would have been interesting. Move the player. Of course, we had to hit something. Break. Looks like we're not going to hit our ideal number. We were going to, but everything has to, as usual, not cooperate. Move the player. Move the player. Move the player. Move the player. Jumping. Oh, you got movable area here. Nice jump. Now let's try jumping when I press the jump button. Wow. There's an idea. Jumping. Place. Yeah, we're gonna have to go way out again, but like I said, when we get to the ultimate goal of the secondary objective, we're probably gonna have to go way beyond, way out there on the z-axis. Alright, how about a position where we move forward? There we go. That is not. That's not 49.5. We're jumping. That's not a movable. That's not movable. There, I think we made it. I haven't looked. Yeah, we just creeped in. Move the player. I'd like to move. No, this. There we go. Move the player. I'd like to move the player. Break. Like to move now. Move the player. Move the player. Really? All right, we're trying to move the player, which obviously we're not going to cooperate with doing, because that would be wrong. This is going to be a dumb move. Place. Break. Break. Nope. Keep the blocks we can. Alright, it looks like we are about to move the player. Alright, so yeah, we squeaked into the objective. We got one block too many. We can make some torches. We can put that in the way we want. Alright, so 8,275,000, just barely 88. And this is one way. George F551 saying, hope you enjoy. Peace. And have a good one. And sleep time. Good night, everybody.